Morning traders, welcome to the live trading room. I hope you are all doing well. Euro US dollar is going as usual as we expected. Looking very good. Okay, so I do not want I'm in the Euro US dollar trade to the downside, but do not get too excited. If you look at what is happening currently with the Euro US dollar, it has happened exactly just a couple of months back, just 3 months back. We had this corrective structure. Look at that. The same thing happened there. What happened after that? We had this 1, 2, 3. Where are we currently? We are currently on this green here. We're currently here. We're currently here. So this has happened previously. So we are expecting, obviously we would expect a decent corrective structure. 1, 2, 3. No, I need to use the red just to show the structures are similar. 1, 2, 3. Not just on the structures alone. If you look at the RSI, look at what was happening with the RSI at this level. If you look at this here, if you look at this here, what happened to the euro after breaking down here? It went up. And what were we still expecting here? We were still expecting one more up pullback. Even when this was pushing up here, we're still expecting this so that we can get this one to move to the upside. So be careful. Be careful when this happens. Okay, where was the stock at the time? The stock was right here. The stock is exactly where that was. So you can see that the market is repeating exactly what it has done previously. Will it replicate the whole pattern? Let's see if that is going to be the case. We have to watch. So I will be moving my stop to break even. If we reach this level, I'll move it to break even. In case if this happens, then we're going to look for upside here. Okay. Right, so if you're in the trade, it's a counter trend. It is against the trend. The trend is upside in the higher degree. So just be mindful of that fact. Okay, but otherwise everything is pretty similar to what has happened previously. Let's see if we're gonna get the pullback or if it's gonna continue from here. But the expected structure is 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and 3 waves down, and then we'll look for this to resume higher. The daily, as you can see, has not broken below 50. We actually have broken. The daily has broken below 50 on this. So we are pretty bearish. So we could just be pretty bearish up to, until around this level, up until around equal legs. So let's have a look here. Let's have a look here. Let's put in the blue box on this. Let's project the blue box. So we're going to start it from the start of the correction to the end of the correction and back. So where do we expect to start seeing a correction? We expect to start seeing a correction. Sorry guys, I just need to admit everybody in the room. So we start expecting to see a correction around the 61. So around the 61 area, we need to start seeing this pullback. And that pullback will be similar to this. And we'll expect this to rally into the blue box at around 1838. That's where we're going to expect to see any kind of reaction if we're going to resume with upside here on Euro US dollar. So looking very interesting on the daily. We're going to get a pullback at 61.8, then a move down into the blue box, and then resumption of the move to the upside. Either that or we can get what happened previously here. And then we just went up like that. So either way, we'll have to be we will have to watch out for that. DXY, exactly the same structure, but the inverse, 3 waves up, 3 waves down. Okay, so what do we have here on the DXY? We had the same thing, 3 waves up, 3 waves down. Similarly here, when this was making a move here, we were expecting one and then down and then one up before we get the move to the downside. We were expecting this downside. We just wanted to get the complete structure, which did not happen. And unfortunately, that's the nature of the market these days. Sometimes you get funny structures. As long as they've got the right look and they follow the characteristics and the rules and the guidelines as we have given, we should still follow that structure. Right, so the DXY, we'll expect this a pullback and continuation to the downside. We are still bearish on the US dollar. The current move is a pullback. That's what we're expecting. Again, here, if we project the blue box, same thing. Why is my blue box not projecting? Okay, let's do it again. So the DXY is already at the 61, so we expect to see a start of a correction around these levels. The corrective structure should be similar in size as this, and this is a daily chart, so this could take a couple of days. If this is going to be in the blue box, this is the blue box here, and we're going to see continuation to the downside, and that will be the complete structure here on the DXY. So bit of a push to the upside currently. Pound US dollar, strong impulsive move to the downside, but what are the indicators showing us? I'm skeptical of selling the pound, especially after this move. I don't mind missing out on this move at all. Okay, we are at the bottom here, and the RSI is just above 50. So only if I start seeing the RSI dip below 50 will we expect then that the pound will give us a deeper correction. At this stage, until this happens, we're staying away from the pound. We'll look for this one to still do this, and then one more up. Remember what the target on pound US dollar is around 144, which is to reach this level. Let's show this on the weekly. It's easier to see on the weekly. We actually came very close to that level. Came very close to that level, which even if we do not take it, it is not a requirement that we must take that level. It's just that when it's tagged, then there's no other alternative. Then we know that it is exactly that structure and that will play out. So if that is the move here on pound, are we going to get this one to start doing this now? So let's watch that around this level. If we get confirmation for downside, daily confirms, then we start looking for downside. Weekly, let's have a look at the weekly. Weekly is right at the top. So if we get that confirmation on the daily while the weekly is there at the top, and this is at the top here as well, that will be confirmation that we're going to start looking for downside. Okay, so even if the weekly RSI is still above 50, as long as the daily is below 50, we can have a decent move to the downside until this gets to around this level. If it's going to go all the way, then obviously the weekly is going to go down as well. But that will be, we don't want to wait for the weekly to come around this level because that will be too late, because by the time the weekly comes around below 50, this possibly would have made the move to around 50%. So that's why we put in the rule that only if the daily is confirming a reversal, then we start looking for that. Because even if you're wrong, you will still get a decent move in the direction that you're focusing on the daily. Okay, even if that move is a corrective one. All right, so that is a pound US dollar. US dollar chief keeps pushing up higher with the DXY. Let's switch this off here. So we're seeing this corrective structure here on US dollar chief. So on the weekly, we are just popping up above 50. Okay, but we have popped up above 50 before. We've popped up above 50 before, but looks like this one is now, let's just have a look here. We've now broken out of this structure. If we have to put in the channels here, is at the end of the move. We have to watch that if we're gonna get any deeper pullback here and this. But look at this. This is bearish. This is very bearish. Okay, still very bearish. So is this the correct? Is this the reversal? We still expect it to come around here. This is the structural level. Okay, that is the structural level. So we expect that to come to around this level. So just because it's making an impulsive move to the upside, yes, it is. Looks like a decent move in the lower degrees, but on the weekly, this can be nothing more than just this one resetting at the top, this one then continuing to the downside. Let me go to the lower time frame. I didn't show you the lower time frame on the US dollar chief. So on the lower time frame, this is still pushing up higher. We saw this continuation to the upside on Sunday. It is still pushing up higher. I don't see any signs of reversal. There's no divergence on the RSI and the price. They're doing the same thing. So we may still see some further upside here on chief, US dollar chief. US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD making a move to the upside. There's made a 3-wave pullback. This is the pullback. I'll look at it on the 1 hour. If you look at the 4 hour, it looks like we're getting a setup for further upside. This is resetting at the bottom. We are still well above 50 on the 4 hour. So that is a positive for a trade to the upside. Let's look at the 1 hour. Is there a trade set up on the 1 hour? There's no trade set up on the 1 hour. So if we've got that, we may have this 3 down, 3 up, and then we get a structure like this. That will be a decent corrective structure where we can get this one on the 1 hour. So wait for it to give you a decent corrective structure and not take it on the 4 hour. Audi US dollar set up for downside. 1 hour is already at the bottom, but this was the 3-wave pullback. Looking for this to continue to the downside. It needs to give us a correction here again, so we can get a setup on the 1 hour. If this one resets at the top, then we'll look for this to continue to the downside. Okay, and just check on the euro if it has got a similar corrective structure. We don't have that structure on euro US dollar. I wanted to check if euro US dollar has a similar structure as the Audi, but the New Zealand has a regular flat. It is now broken below the regular flat, so that is a trade to the downside. Let's look at the 4 hour to see if we've got a trade set up on this. The 4 hour is just showing us continuation to the downside. We have not resetted at the top, so it's not exactly a safe trade. If you want to get involved, your stop loss needs to be here. What we discussed on Sunday is that if we can get this one as a wave 4, and then we start getting the 5, and then a deeper pullback before this starts dropping. So it's not safe to take it right now after making this strong impulse. You just need to take the precautions and make sure that your risk is well calculated there. Pound is looking downside in the short term on the 4 hour. The daily is still well above 50. That's why I said I will not be looking to take the trades to the downside as long as the daily RSI is still above 50. Even on the 4 hour, you can see that it's still showing strength to the upside. So even if we get that, we'll still expect pound yen to continue to the upside. Let's look at the daily. Look at where the RSI is on the daily. Very strong. Look at where the stock is on the daily. It's resetting already. So very strong, bullish move to the upside. So pound yen, not a trade you want to be selling right now. Even if we do see this coming down there on the lower time frame, we're still expecting this. Okay, so that move that I was showing you on the lower time frame is this one. This 3 and then upside. 1, 2, 3, and then upside. How do you see the 3? In the lower degree, you'll see that structure clearly. That is a 3-wave structure that we're expecting. So if you're taking this to the downside, you need to be very careful. Okay, so that is the expectation and then upside. But the way the strength to the upside is so much that this can just come to this and then start making a move to the upside without even making equal legs, or even 3 up, 3 down, and then we go a corrective structure like that. Okay, either way, look for continuation pattern to the upside. The pound is not done with the move to the upside. US dollar, yen, we're still continuing to the upside. No change. Check the chart on the website. Euro yen. Has it reached the end of the move? I showed this one in detail on Sunday. Has it reached the end of the move here in 3 waves? 1, 3 waves up, 3 waves back, and 3 waves to the upside. This is still a shorter leg. What we were expecting was for this to push a little bit higher to around these levels. But remember, as far as the rules are concerned, this WX, the Y can be anywhere between 0.618 and 1,618. So if we start getting a reversal at current levels, this can even reverse to around the 50% of this whole move. So watch that out. For now, on the daily, we are still well above 50. Although the stock is at the top, we don't worry about the stock being at the top while we are on an uptrend. We only look for it to be at the bottom for continuation patterns to the upside. Right, Chief Yen, we had made this move around this level, which we thought was going to break and make one more to the upside. It looks like it's making a three-wave pullback here. We're going to expect this. Same thing we're expecting with the Euro Yen for more upside. CAD Yen, no changes. This corrective structure must be decent for you to take it to the upside. It has to give you, let's look at this on the 4-hour. So as it is now, does not look ready. We've got a three-wave pullback here. It's doing this, we can get this one to go. We can get this one, 1, 2, 3. This one can come down here, up to 3, and then upside. So we can get a structure like that. So let's just wait for this to complete. Let's not speculate on which one it's gonna make, but when it is done, we're gonna be looking for this to give us another leg higher. That is CAD Yen, New Zealand. New Zealand, pulsing move to the downside, looking downside here on the 4-hour. One more down before we get a move to the upside. But all of these structures, if you remember, they have all reached almost equal legs. So it could be time for a reversal or another continuation pattern. This all I showed on Sunday that we could be at the end of the moves here. Although this is not quite there yet, missed by a few pips, that can start the reversal in 3 waves. So we've gone up in 3 waves, so we can pull back in 3 waves if we're going to see further upside. All right. Audi. Same. We're starting to get this impulse. Like I said, we'll only start considering downside when this dips below 50. And when that happens, we'll get a correction in the 4-hour. And then we'll start looking for this to come down at least to the 50% of this move. Gold. You saw the detailed structure on this. We're looking at this as 3 waves to the downside, 3 waves up here, where we could have another 3 waves to the downside here like that. Let's see what we're going to get here on gold. These indicators, as we've been saying, have been showing us downside for a while. Silver. Silver, you're still looking for this. We're still looking for this. It looks like we're going to break below this structure. Any correction around here is an entry to take you back to around the 22 levels on silver. We're starting to get pullback on Brent crude. That's a single impulse. What we need to see here is after this, what looks like a 3-wave structure, it's 3 waves so far. It's not 5. It's not giving us a wave 3 as yet because these are still equal legs. If we start getting a pullback here to around 50%, then that will be a decent move to the downside. But again, we wait for the RSI on the daily to dip below 50 if we're going to get any trade to the downside. A setup for downside. Pound Chief, the move to the upside is not over. Let's go back to the lower time frame. Good. So Pound Chief is still looking upside on the 4-hour. Looks like another entry on the 4-hour, but this is at the top now. So there may be a possibility for an entry in the lower time frame. If you get an entry here, be mindful of this fact here that you can get this one coming back for 1 and then upside. Let's look at the 1-hour time frame. Lower time frame, you can see on the 1-hour, we've got a trade setup. That's a trade setup on Pound Chief. We can start looking for this trade to the upside. A close above this is a trade, and you are going to move to break even when you get to this level. At this level, this way you move to break even, or you can take profits if you wish. But this is the trade setup on Pound Chief. Candle must close above there. We're still looking for further upside here. So we'll put in a modest target just around these levels. The target is much further away, but you don't want to hold for that long. You just want to get in, get your profits, and get out. The risk to reward there is, can't see the figure. Looks like 3,7, which is good enough. $2.7 is the risk to reward ratio. Very good. So that is the setup on Pound Chief. Looking for further upside. Pound CAD. Pound CAD, we're actually looking for continuation to the upside. We never got the flag for continuation there on Pound CAD. We're expecting, after this candle reversal, this green one here, we're expecting that we're going to have one more up here before the reversal, but it looks like we are going to come down here. So I'm out of this one for now. Let's wait for a confirmation for entry for downside here. The daily is still above 50. So it's not safe to sell it as yet, and it's resetting here at the bottom again. So this may just be a 3-wave corrective structure on Pound CAD that will result in one more move to the upside before coming down. All right, that is Pound CAD. Pound Audi, our move to the upside seems to have failed yesterday after breaking out of this corrective structure. We just got a small move up here, but it looks like we are now correcting around these levels. Let's see how this is going to play out. We saw this one at the bottom here, staying above 50. Is this now the end of the move to the upside? We're expecting a little bit more here. Pound New Zealand. So Pound New Zealand still looking good for upside. So it looks like we've got 3 waves up here, 3 waves back here, and we're going for another 3 waves to the upside here with Pound New Zealand. Let's see if we're going to get a confirmation for a trade around these levels. On Pound New Zealand, let's go 4 hour. So 4 hour on Pound New Zealand is giving us no trade setup. Let's look at it on the 1 hour. Do we have a setup on the 1 hour? On the 1 hour, it's not a clean setup, really. It's not really a clean setup for upside. So we can see that's going to push to the upside, but not a very good entry on this one. Euro Pound, looking for further downside, setting up for more downside. We're at the top, we are below 50. All we need here is this candle closing below 50, which I think it has already done so. So Euro Pound looking downside. That's straight to the downside on Euro Pound. Euro Audi, continuation to the downside. We've got this corrective structure here. It's not the cleanest at this stage, but it looks like we've got another one for downside here. Let's look, we're actually on the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, we've resetted here at the top. We're at the bottom. So this looks like our entry. You can just put the stop here because it's close enough and let it run to around these levels. New Zealand. Three waves down, 3 waves up. We're expecting another 3 waves to the downside. EuroCAD. Continuation to the downside. Look at where the RSI is very weak. We are at the top already. So continuation to the downside. Euro chief, due to the weakness in the chief currency, looks like it's still going to push a little bit higher. RSI is at the bottom, above 50. Stock RSI is above 50, so it looks like we're going to get one more up here after this continuation pattern. We'll update the structure as we get more data, but for now we're just seeing continuation to the upside as far as the indicator is concerned. EuroCAD, I'm not even looking at a setup on EuroCAD. I'm not looking at a setup, so can't exactly give you the targets. I can just show you the focus, but I'm not taking a new trade here. Remember the trade setup that we had on EuroCAD was here, targeting this level, which has now been reached, but this can go further down. Let's look at how far Euro can go to the downside. If you are in the trade, Euro can get even to around the 50,000 levels here. But you remember, it does not move in a straight line. You can get this, you can get pullbacks, you can get this, you can get pullbacks, and then you can start eventually making a move to the upside. So Euro, the next structural level is this one. Okay, also this could be a harmonic pattern here where you have this here reversing at around 78. $76. I want to position it at the right place. So that's how we have it. Let's see how it's gonna play out. But I'm expecting the next level to be reached at this level. How far are we? We are at 52. It's about 300 pips away on EuroCAD if you are in that trade. Happiness. Tendai. Audi New Zealand. Okay, good. Audi New Zealand. We've made what looks like a three-wave pullback here. We made an impulse. Another pullback here. You can look to take it back around that level. Audi CAD. Okay, I'm gonna bring the daily chart on all of them again. Nothing has changed here except we've got impulses in the opposite direction. I just wanna see what the structure looks like or what the indicators are showing us on the daily to confirm if we can actually take these trades if they confirm downside. Yes, we can here. Daily is below 50. If you get a setup on the 1 hour for a sell here, you can take it down here on Audi CAD because the daily would have dipped below 50 already. Audi Chief, you can see that as soon as the daily RSI came to around 50, we've got a bounce. So that's why you don't want to sell this before you get that confirmation. New Zealand CAD is dipping below 50. So we'll have to monitor this. If we get a setup, we don't just go and sell. We need to get a setup in the lower degree. If the higher degree daily confirms downside and you get a sell setup in the lower degree, you can actually take that. Okay, so that is Audi Chief, or rather New Zealand CAD. New Zealand Chief, the same, it bounced up before we can dip below 50, so it's resetting here. So no surprise that we're still getting continuation to the upside. CAD Chief also, not even a reset here. RSI remains well above 50, so that's why you don't look for any sell setups on this pairs. The indices looking very good. We've got the impulses that are confirming that we may be breaking out of these corrective structures. Let me go to the 4 hour and look at all of them. So what is playing out is everything that we expected on Sunday. So we've got this as a three-wave structure. If we break above this, we're going to see the next leg higher. And that is the structure for all the indices, S&P 500, the Dow. The Dow looking for upside here. This could even be an expanding flat as follows. And then we look for continuation to the upside. NASDAQ. We're starting the move to the upside now. Looks like it. We'll look for upside here. Yesterday we were looking for this to be a 1, 2, 3 before pushing up higher, so we can get a structure like this. Let's just do the structure. We're looking at this one to be an A, B, C corrective structure, then upside, but there's also a possibility for this to be a flat, one down before we push up higher. The bias has always been upside for all of them. Right, UK 100 has broken below this corrective structure, 1, 2, 3. We broke below there, but it looks like we're making another 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's switch off here, because structurally, if we look at this, we could be getting another 1, 2, 3 to the upside. So that means a big correction is coming on the UK 100. DAX looking good to break above this structure. We need to see this break above this. Very likely that that's going to happen now. Nikkei. Messy structure here on the Nikkei. RSI just at 50. We have already restarted the reset. Are we going to get one more up? Let's see. Nifty. Still not going anywhere. We made a three-way pullback. Are we going to see the Nifty push up higher? Let's look at the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin. Right, let's have a look at Bitcoin. We have popped up above 50 on the 4-hour. Is this the structure that is going to play out now? 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and 3 waves down. If we get a setup here on the 4-hour, where this is above 50, but this one is now above there. So we need to look at the setup on the 1 hour to see if we can ride Bitcoin for the next leg higher. 1 hour is giving us a setup. You see on Bitcoin, so we're going to get one more up here on Bitcoin. How far will this go? Is it going to go all the way? But what we're seeing here is that Bitcoin, we're going to have a short move to the upside. Same as Ethereum, we're going to have a move to the upside here. Maybe that move will be just to retest this level. It gives us this big corrective structure. There's a possibility for that structure. And Litecoin will be the same. Remember, the confirmation for this to go is for this candle to close above 50. We have already confirmed this 1 and 2. That's valid. Only thing that needs to confirm to trigger the trade is the confirmation of the structure. Litecoin, same. RSI above 50. We are looking for this to continue higher. And Ripple, same structure. We'll be looking for Ripple to push up higher. We're at the bottom and we're above 50. So we're going to see some upside on the cryptocurrencies in general. That's all for today, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye. Those that are attending the course, I will see you tonight. Somebody's saying Pound Chief is breaking the channel now for long. Let's have a look at it. Pound Chief. Yes, that 1 hour candle must just close above there. As soon as it closes, then that's confirmation for upside. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.